Here is a video I've been meaning to make for a long time. It's a time-lapse of the assembly of the 7 jib. I have made 900 of these jibs over the last 20 years. The first items you see are steel tubing that I weld. I cut and buy steel and weld. And then I put parts on. I weld parts on. Oh, there are the stickers from Nameplates for Industry. Really good, like Lexan sticker. Now I'm tapping. The steel parts are welded up, and I use parts from another company called Fox Valley Stamping. There's one next to the drill right now. It's kind of a triangular shape. It's the nose piece, and there are a bunch of other parts. And what's interesting about those is they are, I'm fitting the weight bar. That's me filing and fitting the weight bar till it slides into the main tube. But those parts, those stamp parts are actually not stamped, they're laser cut. They're laser cut steel, and they're amazingly precise. Down to, plus or minus 1/1000th of an inch, laser cut steel. And then I take all these parts. I think there are 5 pieces of steel, 5 main pieces that the jib is made up of. I take them to a company called Foley Metal Finishing, and they do an excellent job of powder coating. I use a satin powder coat, black, and it's a little shiny, not too shiny. I'm drilling and reaming out the weight bar tubes right now. This thing is kind of built roughly like a bicycle in terms of its steel tubing and then hinge parts. Now I'm using a reamer on the bearings. They're sintered bronze bearings, and there's a reamer that I use. Other parts that I have made are, there's a couple of round parts in the bottom of your screen. The dark one is the bowl, and the bowl is cast aircraft aluminum, and it's made by Cast Metals Technology. They actually make a sand mold, and they pour molten aluminum into it. So it's a sand casting, and it's very tough. There's that nose piece with those parts from Fox Valley Stamping. Checking the tilt. That's the tilt arrangement. I think pretty quickly here I'm going to be putting on, I don't know what I'm doing next. There goes that bowl. That's a 100mm bowl, so it levels your fluid head. That goes on the end. The jib folds up. It's only 32 inches long when it's folded, but when it's unfolded, you get 7 feet of lift out of it. Now I think I'm cutting down some knobs on the bandsaw and shaping them on the grinder. Yeah, I'm using Teflon lube on those. I like that clear Teflon lube. Doesn't attract dirt, stays put, lasts a long time. This is a radial needle bearing. I'm lubing it with Teflon lube. It's a grease, actually. Use these this radial needle bearing comes from, and a lot of the hardware, the fasteners come from a company called McMaster Carr, which is maybe my favorite company ever. All those parts come from them. The nuts and bolts, the quick release rods. And here's some special tools that I made to adjust the base. It's a big wrench that I made that is made out of a piece of plywood. That's the plywood. There, I'm just putting it back in the drawer. This is the base, the yoke that fits on your tripod and swings. I'm trying to adjust my tripod here. It's a shoulder screw to fasten the yoke in. This is a little camera crane, and it lifts your camera into the air. And you can have a very heavy camera. Your camera and your lens and fluid head and battery can weigh up to 50 pounds. So you can put a tricked out Arri Alexa on there, a red, a Panasonic Varicam, Sony F55, as well as, DSLRs, lighter cameras. Here's the follow frame. This is a new addition. Just came up with this in about the last 2 years. This device, the customer ordered this with the follow frame installed. And this device automatically tilts the camera and keeps it aimed at the subject. There's another video. If you check my my videos, you'll see the follow frame video. That's going on with some self-tapping, self-drilling screws. If you make a product, try not to make it black if you can, because you spend a lot of time wiping it down, trying to get fingerprints off of it. You never can. This is the parallel rod. It's an aluminum rod, and it screws together like a pool cue, two-piece pool cue. And I'm putting the quick release rod ends on with some Loctite, red Loctite. Just a tiny bit of red Loctite keeps this all together. It has to be indexed. These two pieces are matched. When people lose one or break one, usually they lose both. It gets left behind on a set, and then they have to be ordered together because they're indexed together. And there's the jib. Trying to keep it clean as best I can. The case that I use should be coming up here in a second. Yep, it's an SKB dual takedown shotgun case. This just seems to be the perfect size for it. And it's an ATA approved case. And it's really good, really strong, stands up to abuse. And it's light too. And that's the 7 Jib Compact.